You don't have an open-ended period of time. The president has clearly said that the summer of 2011 is a period of transition, and many people are interpreting that in all sorts of different ways, as you know. The Taliban is clearly running out the clock, is trying to run out the clock. Let me put something up that David Kilcullen, a counterinsurgency expert, a former advisor to General Petraeus, said about the timetable.
They believe that we had stated a date certain, that we were going to leave in the summer of 2011, and they immediately went out and spoke to the population and said, the Americans are leaving in 18 months, as it was then. What are you doing on the 19th month? Who are you backing? Because we'll still be there and they won't be.
So that question is out there. So many people are arranging their schedules for 2011, the summer of 2011. But my question to you is this. What can General Petraeus do to defeat the Taliban at their own game? What can he do now in Afghanistan to avoid this deadline that they're setting for themselves?
Well, first of all, I think we need to reemphasize the message that we are not leaving Afghanistan in July of 2011. We are beginning a transition process and a thinning of our ranks that will, and the pace will depend on the conditions on the ground. The president has been very clear about that. And if the Taliban are waiting for the 19th month, I welcome that. Because we will be there in the 19th month, and we will be there with a lot of troops. So I think that...
What is a lot of troops?
Well, first of all, I think that my personal opinion is that drawdowns early on will be of fairly limited numbers. And as we are successful, we'll probably accelerate. But again, it will depend on the conditions on the ground.
Is there any way now, between now and December, between now and next summer, to deliver some high-profile, real reconstruction, real sort of progress to them, to make everybody know that you're serious and to change the dynamic?
Well, first of all, I think we're already seeing that. We're already seeing it in central Helmand, where security, development, governance, economic life is returning. We are seeing it in places like Nad Ali. We're actually seeing it in places like Marja that has been slower and tougher than we anticipated, but it's getting better every day. And we're seeing it in gradually improving security in the area around Kandahar. It's going to take some time. It's going to be tough. We're going to take casualties. We have warned about this for months, that this summer would be very difficult for us. But I think there are tangible signs that this approach is working, this strategy is working. But the key thing to remember is the full surge isn't even all in Afghanistan yet and will not be until the end of August. So this surge over the last few months is only beginning to take effect.
What I think a lot of people maybe don't get is that the Afghan people still want the American forces there. In the latest ABC poll, it shows that 68% of the Afghan people actually want the American forces still there. Do you think that there has been an opportunity missed, or should there be an opportunity seized by yourself, maybe by the president, to go out and speak to the American people more about Afghanistan, about the strategy, about why it's important?
Well, first of all, I'm here, and I think the president has been out and has spoken about this. He talked about it in some detail at the time he nominated General Petraeus about where we were headed. Probably we can do more, but Secretary Clinton and I and the president and the vice president and General Jones have all been out and talking about this. And I, frankly, one of the things that I find frustrating is that I think that the president's strategy is really quite clear. I hear all the stories that what's the strategy, what's the goal here? I think it's quite clear. It's to reverse the momentum of the Taliban, deny them control of populated areas, degrade their capabilities. At the same time, we're building up the Afghan security forces so that the Afghan security forces can deny the Taliban and al-Qaeda a base from which to attack the United States and the West.
All right.
Pretty straightforward.
Okay, then let me, since you brought that up, I want to bring up what Vice President Biden told NBC earlier this week about the strategy and about the aims. Because again, I think American people and many people are confused about what is winning, what is the strategy right now. Let me put that up.
We're in Afghanistan for one express purpose: Al-Qaeda. The threat to the United States, Al-Qaeda that exists in those mountains between Afghanistan and Pakistan. We are not there to nation build.
Is that it? Is that the war?
I agree with that. We are not there to take on a nationwide reconstruction or construction project in Afghanistan. What we have to do is focus our efforts on those civilian aspects and governance that help us accomplish our security objective. We are in Afghanistan because we were attacked from Afghanistan, not because we want to try and build a better society in Afghanistan. But doing things to improve governance, to improve development in Afghanistan to the degree it contributes to our security mission and to the effectiveness of the Afghan government in the security arena, that's what we're going to do.
Final question. Do you think the way out is to strike a deal with the Taliban?
I think that the way out is to improve the security situation in Afghanistan to the point and to degrade the Taliban to a degree where they are willing to consider reconciliation on the terms of the Afghan government, detaching themselves from Al-Qaeda, agreeing to abide by the Afghan constitution, agreeing to put down their weapons. I think those are the conditions that need to. Reconciliation must be the end game here, but it must take place on the terms of the Afghan government.
And you think that can happen in a year?
Well, we're not limited to a year. I think that it can happen in the time frame that we're looking at ahead. Again, July 2011 is not the end. It is the beginning of a transition.
Secretary Gates, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.